Hi everyone, this is our IPE project. I'm Sophie.
I'm Kylie.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Emery.
So meet our IPE team. We have Lisa Forlenza, who's the office administrator at Northern Kentucky Chiropractic. We have Dr. Sam Forlenza, who's a chiropractor at Northern Kentucky Chiropractic. And we also have Dr. Mohammed Zinedine, who's a medical doctor at Florence Medical Group. So what is chiropractic therapy? Dr. Forlenza treats pain and injuries of the muscle. He treats bone or joint pain or dysfunction, and patients can either be long-term or chronic patients or acute injured patients. So Dr. Mohammed Zinedine is an internal medicine doctor. He treats patients with chronic health conditions, and he also deals with aspects of general health, including patients suffering from acute or chronic pain or infections.
So then the third person we interviewed was the office coordinator, Lisa Forlenza. She coordinates care for patients, obtains diagnostic reports, makes referrals to other providers, and assists the doctors in evaluation of patients. So one of the main questions that we asked the people we got the chance to interview was, are these jobs satisfactory for you? And what Dr. Forlenza had to say was that he enjoyed being able to help people and being a chiropractic doctor because he could ease the pain and suffering of these people. And then Lisa Forlenza said she enjoyed directing patient care and advocating for patients who feel like they don't have a voice in the system. And Dr. Mohammed Zinedine said he enjoys helping patients treat and avoid health, chronic, and acute conditions. Another question that we got the chance to ask was, what are some of the pros and cons of your job? Dr. Forlenza said that some of the pros that he felt were patients come in feeling better and have improvement of pain and symptoms once they leave. But some of the cons was long hours away from family and the stress that comes with the job. Lisa Forlenza said that as an office administrator, some of the pros that she felt was that she got to advocate for patients that didn't know that they had the benefits available to them. And then also said that some of the cons were the long hours away from home and her family.
And Dr. Mohammed Zinedine, the medical doctor, said that the pros were helping patients avoid serious health conditions and improve their overall health and help the patients have a better understanding of their possible underlying conditions. And the cons are many years of study and high stress. We asked Dr. Sam Forlenza what a typical day looks like for him. And he said at 9:30 he arrives at the office to have a morning meeting with the staff. And this morning meeting consists of going over the patient's schedules for the day, who is currently scheduled, how many new patient examinations, re-examinations, or report findings that they have for the day. And in between 10 o'clock and noon, he sees patients that have been assigned to him by the office administrator, Lisa Forlenza. And then between 7 and 8 o'clock, he finishes all the charting of patients, reviews x-rays and diagnostics for the next day, and he returns any patient phone calls before he heads home. We also asked Lisa Forlenzo what a typical day looked like. And she said at 9 she gets to the office to make sure that everything is clean, stocked, and ready. And she organizes any information for the morning meeting that they have. At 9:30, they all have the morning meeting. In between 10 o'clock and noon, she assists the doctor with any new patient exams, and she performs billing functions in between. And then in between noon and 7, she assists the doctors when needed, and she makes referrals to other providers. She does billing and then also administrative work. And lastly, for the typical day, we asked Dr. Mohammed Zinedine And he said that at 7:30 he arrives at the office, and in between 7:30 and 12:30 he sees patients. And then in between 12:30 and 1:30 he has a lunch break, and during that time pharmaceutical representatives usually bring in lunch and discuss latest research and drug information. Between 1:30 and 4:30, again, he sees more patients, and in between 4:30 and 5:30, he finishes charting and returns any phone calls, and he heads home at 6 o'clock.
We also asked our IPE team for some advice for students entering the exercise science field, and also an environment where you're going to have to be working with other professionals. And both Dr. Forlenza and Miss Forlenza said they really emphasize the importance of job shadowing and getting a lot of experience before entering this field, because it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of dedication, and it is a lot of hard work and it's very rewarding. But in order to know that this is what you want to do and that this is something you are built to do and can do, it's important that you get a lot of practice and a lot of work in the field. And it's also just good for getting jobs in general, having a lot of experience. It looks better when you're applying places. You also just are going to need 4 years of undergraduate school, obviously. You also need 4 years of chiropractic school to get your chiropractic license if that's the industry you'd like to go into. And then also it's just a long and again expensive commitment, and you just would need to get a lot of experience to know it's something you're willing to do. When we asked our medical doctor, Mohammed Zinedine, for some advice, he said medical school is very competitive. So again, getting a lot of experience, going to a lot of internships, doing a lot of job shadowing, that will really benefit you there because it is such a competitive thing to get into. Have a solid foundation of biology and chemistry. Obviously, if you're going into the medical field, you're just going to need a solid foundation of that regardless. But again, that's all just about the drive and working really hard and knowing this is something you're willing to do and prioritize. And then many years of study plus a residency after school, but worth it in the end. So all in all, is it a lot of work? Yes, and it's a lot of things that you have to do to get there. But once you're there, obviously, they are very satisfied in the job they're in right now. And then we also asked our IPE team how they work with others and the importance of working with other people and other professionals. And both Dr. Forlenza and Ms. Forlenza said that essentially they work with Dr. Zinedine for prescribing medicines that you are unable to prescribe as a chiropractor or an office administrator. So that's how they work with medical doctors. They also will send patients there for referrals and do medical healings that they aren't able to complete with holistic healing. And yeah. And then Dr. Zinedine essentially said the same thing. He often has patients with acute or chronic musculoskeletal issues that med management alone is not the best option for. And then working with Dr. Forlenza, it can minimize necessity for pain medication while reducing pain with chiropractic care. So essentially, there's holistic healings that Dr. Forlenza can offer that Dr. Zinedine cannot as just a medical doctor. And so that essentially is our IP project. That's our IP team. And yeah, thank you.